I'm getting good at C. When I arrive at hiking, I practically sprint to the top of the hill. After I check in with the officer, I hurry to my spot next to Kai. Before he can say anything, I pick up a stick and draw a C right there in the mud next to him. What's next? I ask. He laughs a little. You know, you don't need me. You could teach yourself, he says. You could look at the letters on your scribe, on your reader. That's not the same, I tell him. Then don't connect like yours do. I've seen your kind of writing before, but I don't know what it's called. Cursive, he says softly. It's harder to read, but it's beautiful. It's one of the old ways of writing. That's what I want to learn. I don't want to copy the blocky, flat symbols of the letters that we use now. I like the curved and sweepy ones Kai knows. Kai glances over at the officer, who stares fiercely to the trees, as though daring someone else to fall and get hurt today. We don't have long before the others arrive. What's next? I ask again. A, says Kai, showing me how to make a small letter A, embraced by a little swoop at the beginning and at the end. To attach it to what comes before and after, because the letter's next to your name. He reaches and takes hold of the stick above my hand. Up, around, down. Gliding gentle, with his hands pressing again mine on the downward stroke, released a little by the upward one. I bite my lip and concentrate. Or maybe it's that I don't dare to breathe until I finish the A. That which it is, all too soon. The letter looks perfect. I exhale, a little shaky. I want to look up at him, but instead I look down at my hand. Right next to each other, in this light, he doesn't look so red. They look brown, strong, and purposeful. Someone is coming through the trees. We both let go at the same time. Livy bursts into the clearing. She's never been third before. She's almost beside herself with excitement. While she chatters at the officer, Kai and I stand up and casually tremble what we've written into oblivion. Why am I learning to write letters in my name first? Because even if that's all you learn to write, you'll still have something, he says, bending his head down to look at me, making sure I know what he's saying, what he's about to ask. Was there anything else you wanted to learn to write instead? I nod, and his eyes brighten with understanding. The words from that paper, he whispers, his eyes moving to Livy and the officer. Yes. Do you still remember them? I nod again. Tell me a little every day, he says, and I'll remember it for you. Then there will be two of us who know. Even though the time is short before Livy and the officer or someone else comes over to talk to us, I pause for a moment. If I tell Kai these words, I step into an even more dangerous place than I was before. It will put Kai in danger, and I will have to trust him. I can do it. I look out at the view at the top of the hill. The sky does not have to answer me. The dome of the city hall in the distance certainly doesn't. I remember thinking of the angels from the stories when I went to my match banquet. I don't see any angels. They don't fly down on their kind soft wings and whisper in my ear. I can trust this boy who writes in the earth. Someplace deep within me, is it my heart or perhaps my soul, the mythical part of humans that angels cared about, tell me that I can. I lean closer to Kai. Neither of us look at each other. We both gaze straight ahead, making sure no one will suspect anything if they glance our way. That's when I whisper the words to him. My heart is full. It's about to burst because I'm saying them, really saying them out loud to another person. Do not go gentle into the night. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. Kai closes his eyes. When he opens them again, he slips something rough and papery into my hand. Look at this for practice, Kai says. Destroy it when you're done. I can hardly wait for secondary school and soaring to end so that I can look at what Kai has given me. I wait until I'm home in the kitchen eating my dinner alone. My work hours were long tonight. I hear my father and Bram playing a game on the port in the foyer, and I feel safe enough to reach into my pocket and pull up Kai's gift, a napkin. My first reaction of disappointment. Why this? It's a normal napkin, the kind we get from our meal halls at second school in the atrium or elsewhere. Brown and plumpy, smeared and used. I have the impulse to incinerate it right away, but when I open it up, there's words inside. Gorgeous words, cursive words. They are beautiful up on the green hill with the sound of the wind in the trees. They are beautiful here in the gray and blue kitchen with the grummy of the incinerator in the background. Dark, curly, swirling words curve across the brown paper, with the dampness that touched them when the words are slightly burbled. And it's not just words, he's drawn things too. The surface is covered with these lines and meanings. Not a picture, not a poem, not a lyric to a song, although my sorting mind notices a pattern of all these. But I can't classify them. This is nothing I've seen before. I realize that I don't even know what you would use to make marks like these. All these words of practice are written in the air and traced in the dirt. There used to be tools for writing, but I don't know what they were. Even the paintbrushes in the school were teeth and art screens, and pictures wiped away almost immediately after we finished them. Somehow Kai must know the secrets. Older than grandfather and his mother and people before them. How to create. 2 lives, he's written. 2 lives, I whisper to myself. The words hush and hang in the room. Too soft for the port to hear above all the other sounds in the house. Almost too soft for me to hear above my heart beating fast. Faster than it ever has in the woods or even on the tracker. I should go to my room. There are relative privacy of the little place in my bed, my window, my closet, where plain clothes hang dead and still. But I can't stop staring. It's hard at first for me to figure out what the picture is meant to be. But then I realize it's him, Kai, drawn twice, once on each side of the folded napkin. The line of his jaw gives it away. The shape of his eyes, the spareness and strength of his body, spaces left empty, his hands, and the nothing that they hold. Through they cupped teeny skyward in both pictures. That's when the similarity between the pictures end. In the first picture, he looks up at something in the sky and looks younger and his face is open. The figure there seems to be thinking his hands might still be filled. The second, he is older, his face narrower, he looks down at the ground. Along the bottom, he's written, which one is the true one? I don't ask, they don't tell. 2 lives, I think, and I understand this. His life before he came here and his life after. But what does he mean by the line of the song or poetry or plea at the end? Cassia, my father calls in the doorway behind me. I scoop the napkin up with my foilware from the dinner and take it towards the incinerator and the recycling bin. Yes. Even if he sees it's a napkin, I tell myself, looking at the brown square on my tray. We incinerate them after every meal. And it's even the right kind of paper, not the one grandfather gave me. The incineration tube won't register the difference. Kai's keeping you safe. I lift my eyes to my father. It's a message for you on the port, my father says. He doesn't look away at what I carry. He focuses on my face to see what I'm thinking. Maybe it's the real danger lies. I smile, try to look unconcerned. Is it from M? I slide my foilware into the recycling bin, only the napkin left. No, my father says. It's an official from the MASH department. Oh, I just like that. I push the napkin down the incineration tube. I'll be right there, I say to my father. I feel the faintest hint of heat from the fire below as Kai's story burns, and I wonder if I will ever have the strength to hold onto something. Grandfather's poem, Kai's story, or if I will always be someone who destroys. Kai told you to destroy it, I tell myself. The man who wrote the poem is gone, but Kai is not. I have to keep it that way, keep him safe. I follow my father into the foyer. Bran glares at me on his way out of the foyer because this message is interrupted his game. Hoping to hide my nervousness, I give him a playful shove as I walk towards the port. The official on the screen is not the one I've seen before. He's a cheerful, blurry-looking man. Not at all the charitable aesthetic type I imagine hovering over the data screens in the MASH department. Hello, Kissia, he says. The collar of his white uniform seems tight against his neck, and he has laugh lines near his eyes. Hello, I say. I want to look down, see if my hands are stained from the drawing the words, but I keep my eyes on the official. It's been months since your match. Yes, sir. Other matches are arranging their first port-to-port communications now. I spent my days putting these together for your peers. Of course, it would be rather ridiculous for you and Alexander to have a formal port-to-port communication. The official laughs cheerfully, don't you think?